Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Meta Cafe. Oh, my coffee's way over here, but grab your cup of coffee or your tea, sit back, and let's chat about the astrology for the day and also for the upcoming week. Today is the new moon, which also means that it is Chinese Lunar New Year. My hair looks lovely this morning, everyone. So, Chinese Lunar New Year, this is the year of the pig and should be lucky for all of those of you who were born in the year of the pig. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, everyone else that is out there. So this morning, I am not feeling all that great. I don't know what it is, maybe too much junk food yesterday during the Super Bowl, which was the most boring game ever for a Super Bowl. I wasn't even impressed with the commercials. Maybe 2 or 3 of them out of all of those commercials were something I would even want to see again. And so, yeah. And what do you do when the game isn't that exciting and you're not jumping up and down and crazy? You eat. So I don't think my body liked that. And of course, then I wake up to a very snowy, windy, cold morning. I feel like somehow I transplanted in the middle of the night to Michigan or Minnesota somewhere. Luckily, we have power. We are warm. We are safe. We are dry. My husband has not been able to make it to work yet. It says he works 16 miles from here, and it says that it will be a 2-hour drive. Must be accidents, must be something. So schools are closed. Everybody's taking an extra holiday today. Wherever you are, I hope you are warm, safe, and dry, and that you are looking at having a great week ahead. It starts out this morning with the lull of the moon, right? The moon is not new until 1:04 p.m. my time, which makes it 4:04 p.m. on the East Coast, and later into the evening for all of you joining us from Europe. And that means this isn't quite yet the time to get things started, right? If you're going to set intentions and you're going to, look forward to what it is that you want to manifest in the coming month, then you have to wait until you have the actual energy of the new moon. And that again isn't until 1:04 this afternoon. So you could do all the back work now, right? You can do the preparation, be thinking about what is it that I really desire. You could be creating those intentions. You could be putting it all together. Just don't really put them out there and set them until after you have the energy of the new moon. So right now we're in that closing phase. Things feel a little slow, a little murky. The weather out here actually looks like it. And we're waiting then for the energy of that new moon. So let's see who we have out here this morning. Good morning, Natasha. Natasha teaches in the Cedar-Woolley School District, which is closed today. So she gets to join us. Good morning, Colleen and Rebecca, Suzanne, Debbie Hedden, Vicki. Nice to see you all with us this morning. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was so fast. I don't know, these weekends, they just like fly by. And yeah, before you know it, it's Monday morning and here we are, right? Talking about what's coming up this week. So of course, when the week begins with the new moon, it sets the in motion, something new, something exciting. The idea is possibilities and potential. And with the energy stacked up in Aquarius right now, it is the potential for seeing things from a new perspective, right? Turn your head upside down, for being innovative, for being inventive, unique, eccentric, for being surprised, for looking at things in new and different ways. And if you can do that, then you find that you are successfully in alignment with what is new. It was interesting because one of the things I noted during yesterday's Super Bowl commercials was that there were a lot of high-tech references, robots, things that, were sort of cutting edge robotic technologies. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. Even at that point, the sun and the moon and Mercury and the black moon Lilith were already all in Aquarius. So there was already that sort of Aquarian feel to the energies yesterday. And then to see it in the commercials, which I'm sure had to have been, produced and shot and put together well before the sun was actually in Aquarius, right? I mean, those things don't just happen overnight. So interesting that, in the looking down into the future, that those things were put together and would be shown at a time when all of these planets were lined up in Aquarius, which, if you're going to look at a sign that might rule robotics or the future or any of the high-tech cutting-edge technologies, it would be Aquarius, right? So here we are looking at Aquarian energy. It was being shown to us through the ritual of the burner day called Super Bowl. So what fun, right? Good morning, Heather Scott. It's good to see you too. Now, Heather, it is probably colder and windier and snowier where you are. But for us, it's kind of crazy, right? I live right on the water. Usually I don't even get much snow. If I get snow, it's not even enough to cover the grass. But the grass is covered and it's still snowing. Yep, still snowing and blowing. So who knows? By the time this is all done, I might have another inch or so. It'll be fun. Good morning, Terry, my husband, who is not able to go anywhere. Heather says it's negative 17 Fahrenheit where she is. Not quite that cold here. The temperature at the moment is 20 degrees with a negative 8 with an 8-degree wind chill. Good morning, Holly. Holly's in Seattle area. Seattle was also being pelted with snow and wind. And at last I heard, there was a several-hour delay, like 25 flights canceled or delayed coming in from the East Coast to the West Coast. So kind of crazy day, at least here. So, but what happens on one coast tends to affect the other coasts, right? Because if it's slowed down here, air traffic, trying to get to Seattle can't get here. So it creates other airports being busy or flights being canceled on the East Coast for people trying to get here. Just kind of a crazy day. All of that should settle down before the moon goes new and 1 o'clock this afternoon, my time. So what does it mean when we have 4 planets all engaged in the new moon? Because it seems like we have, this happens to us periodically where there are planets already lined up and then the sun and moon come into connection with one another. And then immediately the moon will follow by hitting up Mercury and then the planet or the black moon Lilith. So it seems like we are addressing new things. At the same time, we have to address the shadows from the old. So I was looking at, okay, what is the shadow? So there are 3 distinct shadows that I could pull out that we're grappling with, not just today, for the week, and also for this new moon period, which can take us, the new moon intention setting window is about 48 hours long from the moment that there's the new moon to about 48 hours after that. So you have time, right? If you're busy today or you're at work and the new moon happens in the afternoon and you can't get home until later, you're not missing out on anything, right? You can start the intention setting and manifesting rituals, whatever it is that you do for this, within 48 hours, and it still has that same, potency about it. But the shadows are a little more pervasive and they last a little bit longer. One, of course, we've been dealing with the black moon in Aquarius, and it is the shadow of powerlessness. Say that 10 times fast. Powerlessness, where we are feeling as if we have no power, or the shadow underneath everything that is stopping us from moving forward, perhaps, is a feeling of not having power to be able to affect anything or to make changes, or in some way giving up on yourself when you need your power the most. So that seems to be one shadow that we're dealing with. But we also have the shadow set before us by the sun and earth combination when we look at the gene keys and we look at it through human design. So over the weekend, the sun moved out of the gate 19 and into the gate 13, which is really a gate of listening, not just hearing, but listening. And then the earth moved into the gate 7, which is a gate of, it connects to the gate of leadership at gate 31 up in the throat center. But it is the energy for guidance, right? For being able to have the energy within you to guide, to lead, to manage, etc. It's sort of it feels very projector-like energy. And what we find is because it sits on the identity center or the diamond center in the center of your human design, that it ends up being an energy that we can't just like grab the reins of power and say, I'm going to be your leader. It's that we're looking for a leader, and someone organically will sort of float to the surface and be called just that, leader. And it's kind of interesting right now when you look at the politics of what's happening, right? We've got a lot of people now declaring themselves as candidates for the 2020 presidential election here in the United States. And no, there is no clear-cut leader, right? The one person that people seem to want to be a leader is too young to actually run for the office. And I thought that was fascinating, right? The one person that people are like, yeah, we should change the Constitution so that this girl could be the leader. She could run for president. And she's only 29. You have to be 35 in this country to even run for the office of presidency. So no clear-cut leader yet. But perhaps someone emerging out of the shadows, the murk, this week, perhaps in response to the State of the Union address that the president will give here. And I'm speaking specifically to this country because I know this country. Those of you who live in other countries but are listening, this may be pulling out in some way in your own countries, right? You'll know what I'm talking about based on the politics, your outer world that you see in your country. And, for Europe, maybe it's something about Brexit. I mean, I saw that in the news this weekend a bit. In whatever way it's showing up, it is out there in the field that we are dealing with this idea of power and powerlessness, but also leadership potential. Now, the shadows in the gates that the sun is sitting at and that the earth are sitting at are about discord and division. The sun at the gate 13 in its lowest expression holographically is a gate of discord. And the earth is creating that, the earth is anchoring the energy of that discord through division, right? Through division. And the way out of those shadows is to begin to consciously connect with the gift frequencies. And the gift frequencies of the sun is discernment, and in the earth, it is about guidance. The highest expression of those two would be empathy and virtue. So rather than, I don't want to go into a deep look at those gates, but if you have your own human design books or you have your own Gene Keys book, look up the gates 13 and the gate 7. Those are the two. The sun is at 13 and the earth at gate 7. It would make for great contemplation for you as you move through this particular week. And it is interesting to me as well that Mercury today moved into the gate 49, which is a bit of a revolutionary gate. It's the gate of revolution and rebellion, basically. It sort of has a Uranus feel to it. And it's interesting to me because, Mercury being the lower expression, let's say, of mind. So if we look at the mind as a continuum, we have Mercury at the lower end and we have Uranus at the higher end, being able to think holistically and outside of the box and see the bigger picture, versus the Mercury mind, which is much more stuck here in the physical and sees things based on what is around them, what they know to be true, etc. So this might be a good week to sort of embrace the idea of seeing things from a bigger picture and shaking up your world in some way. This is not going to be one of those weeks for you to do the same thing over and over again, the same things that you've always done, the same things that have blown up in your face will still blow up in your face. So this is the week to pull yourself out of that psychosis, out of that insanity, and move yourself forward in some way. And it's actually kind of exciting because today also the new moon is in a sextile or a favorable relationship to Jupiter, the gate that, or the planet that represents expansion and optimism, as well as I said earlier, the moon would conjunct Mercury as we move into past the new moon. And so we have opportunity today to really connect with something beyond where we've been. So don't let yourself get stuck right? You hold the key. You can unlock that key, or you can use the key to unlock the gate, right? So let's see. We have Tom. Good morning. I couldn't find you this morning. Took 10 minutes. I don't know why you couldn't find me. I'm in the same place every day. That is on the Living Astrology Facebook page. You might have to, scroll down a bit to be able to find me, but I am there. Always on the same place, unless I make a mistake, which I have done in the past, and ended up broadcasting to my timeline instead of to my Living Astrology Facebook page. But today was not that day. I'm pretty sure I'm in the right place. Although you never know. I got a meme. Let's see if I can find the meme. What was it? It was this woman who was popping through what looked like a hole in reality. And it says, I'm going to see if I can make this bigger so you can see it. It says, in case you can't read the words, when I pop out of 5D to check in on my 3D family and friends. My friend Debbie, I think, shared that, and Mimi. And it's kind of a funny picture. She's popping out of a hole right there from 5D into 3D. And Mimi, as an answer to that, said something funny too. It was like, and then I go back, and then I pop back, or something like that. So it was pretty funny. All right, so maybe instead of popping from 5D into 3D, go back to 5D for a bit, see what's possible, and then bring it back to the 3D so that everybody can benefit from it. That would be a good thing. Let's see. Lynn says she pulled a card for us all from the Samadhi Oracle by Jess and Sahil Permeswar Brahma, and the card was creation. Of 4 divine faces, keeper of knowledge, most sacred, creator of the universe and Vedas. Meditate on he who brought us all to form from darkness into purity and goodness, from whom all life originates and every destiny is written. Dear one, you are the living embodiment of divine conception, perfect and complete. Through silent meditation, you will connect deeply with this incredible inborn creative source whenever you so desire. Nice. Good morning, Asa. Good morning, Tina. It's good to see you. And Colleen says, oh, wow, New Jersey gets a break this week. It's spring until the weekend. Lynn says our snow melted for a minute. It warmed up to 50 degrees yesterday. Wow. Vanita, good morning. I think I've said good morning to everybody else. So thank you, Lynn, for pulling that card for us and listing it here. And anyway, I don't know, Tom, why that would happen. You'd have to take that up with Facebook. That isn't something to do with me. But you personally can always go to Living Astrology on Facebook and scroll to the video. And it sits there and it just waits until I start the broadcast. And then when I start the broadcast, then it just automatically comes on for you if you're on the page. So maybe do that instead of waiting for them to announce it to you. I don't know. Let's take a look at what else is going on this week. It's not a quiet week by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not a bad week, as in there's some Mars energy taking place. There's some really cool things going on tomorrow. I want to show you if I can. I get a grid like this. I print this out every week. And something new popped in this year. I guess maybe it's a setting since I've, had to, reset my computer. And it shows me red days. You see how the numbers are red? And it shows me green days. And then the black days are just the regular old days. Green days meaning good things happening, I presume. Red meaning, yikes, watch out. And you see we still have, 4 more red days coming in the month. And I bet when I check that out, it'll be something that I see crazy in the grand scheme of things. But look at this week. No red gates, or no red dates. We have 2 green ones, the 5th and the 7th, both of them happening this week. So I wanted to take a look a bit at Tuesday and see what makes it so exciting. And what makes it exciting on Tuesday is that the moon is still in Aquarius until later in the day, but in a very positive relationship to Mars, Uranus, and Venus. Mars, the action principle. And Uranus, the brain, right? That goes, aha, excitement, right? Surprises, doing things differently. And Venus, that makes it go smoothly, injects a bit of harmony and peace into the picture. So we have tomorrow where we have the moon making some really good connections to other planets. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Wednesday, even though it wasn't a red or a green day, is a fine day. We have just minor scritchiness, minor, because we have a semi-square, a half of a square, 45-degree angle. It's a bit irritating with the moon in Pisces now in a semi-square to Pluto and Mars. So we may feel some frustration, irritation, maybe a little bit of conflict on Wednesday, but not enough to make me go, watch out for Wednesday, because we also have a sextile to Venus that day from the moon, which makes emotionally it a very nice day, calmer energy that day. Thursday, another green letter day, green number day. With the moon in Pisces making a lot of great connections to Neptune, to Saturn, to Jupiter, to Pluto. There is one square that day, it's to Jupiter, and that means we might have a tendency to overdo it. But based on the other things, what I think the overdoing might be is really related to meditation or yoga or something more. We may feel more spiritually inclined on Thursday and not really wanting to pop out of that spiritual realm and into the reality of our everyday lives. So if we have something, kind of irritating that day, it's just that I've got to come out of my spiritual reverie and, engage in the real world. But the sun that day is in a good relationship to Jupiter, Mercury that day in a good relationship to Mars. So we make progress, right? There's potential for progress in all of the projects that you're working on, in all of the things that you want to do, in the excitement of the manifesting potential of today's new moon. Maybe Thursday is the most optimistically and action-oriented day based on whatever it is that you set out to do. So Thursday, a great day. Friday, moon in Pisces, shifting over to Aries. That means we're set up for a weekend with the moon in Aries when we get, fewer contacts with the bigger, wider world, like we're at home more. There's the potential of flare-ups with your loved ones, so you want to watch for that over the weekend. The moon will also conjunct Chiron that day, and so we're going to look at that a little bit deeper, because Chiron is close to moving out of Pisces and back into Aries. Remember, it moved into Aries, then it retrograded backwards into Pisces, as if we're not quite ready to learn the lessons yet of interdependence versus codependence and independence on extremes. Interdependence, what we're after, because we were not yet done with the victim energies that were present through Pisces Chiron. So we've been sifting through that victim martyr energy and looking at what is it that we're doing? How are we holding ourselves back and holding ourselves down instead of being our own best friends? And now, later this month, I want to say it's on Valentine's Day even, Chiron shifts backwards or forwards, now back into Aries, and it will stay there for the next 6 to 7 years. So those of you who are in your late 40s aiming for 50, you are aiming for your Chiron return in the next few years. So if that's the case, then it's best right now for us all to take a look at where is it that we need to claim our independence, or where is it that we need to let go of codependence. I mean, like there's this ladder we're climbing from codependence to independence to the recognition of interdependency. And of course, that's the game, right? Is that we can't be one or the other extreme, because in the real world, we are all here together and we all need one another. So Chiron shifting lessons for us as we move into the weekend, perhaps. The rest of the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday looks to be a decent day, although the moon in Aries will be conjunct Mars. Actually, the moon will move into Taurus, and the moon will then conjunct Mars and Uranus just before that, because they're both in the latter degrees of Aries. It can make for some interesting hours on Sunday. Not necessarily bad, but maybe just some craziness on Sunday. We'll take a look more at that as we move through the week. Let's see what people are saying. Then there's the red-green day. Get out of the duct tape. I have no idea what that means. Londa, it's a whiteout out here. Yeah, you see, that's one of the things, right? Up here on the hill, it's windy. And on the flats, I would bet it's really windy. My husband would have to drive from, up here down there through the whiteout and into Burlington for work. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a good plan or not. Holly, she said, I've lost sound. Is anyone else experiencing this? Suzanne says, no, dear, may want to go out and back in. Tom, glad we're all here. Finally, all of us. So let's see. I'm going to, I think I'm actually going to close this up for today. I'm not really feeling all that well, like I said earlier in the broadcast, and I have nothing else to say unless somebody else out there has something to say, or if somebody wants me to draw a card. I actually might draw an animal card for us for the week. And I'm going to do that because I think we haven't done that. Good morning, Linda. She says, I finally made it back with you. Yeah, they're having flooding from rainstorms. So you're getting the rain. We're getting the snow. I'm not laughing at you, but... And she lives in Ventura, which was also, having a lot of the fires, from the summertime. So I pulled Snake Spirit upside down in protection. Suzanne, for you, it is number 55. So we have the double fives. We have a master number, which 5 plus 5 is a 10, which also gives us 1. And it says time to heal, but in protection. So let's see what that means for us for the week. Card 55, so it's toward the back of the deck. The Oracle's message says, no matter how much you have lost or how you've been disappointed, you are called by Snake Spirit to shed the past and practice radical self-acceptance now. Only by forgiving yourself can you move on, regardless of whether anyone else is ready for healing. When your tender new skin first becomes exposed, you may feel uncomfortable. Love yourself and remain vulnerable anyway. You have been weak, but now you are becoming strong and developing wisdom, and you will do better in the future. Snake Spirit reminds you that hearts can be so easily wounded. Apologies and amends go a long way. Self-forgiveness for your role in what happened can help you heal. Remember, it is the one who has been wounded who often has the greatest power to help others heal. Wow. Interesting card for the week, right? So thank you, Debbie. Asa, sending you love and light and healing energy. Thank you. I'm pretty sure it is just from eating a bunch of crap yesterday. And I knew better, but I did it anyway. Oh, well. Thank you all. Have a great day. And did you work on your wall coloring? Yes, I did. Actually, I didn't color too much. I can't really show it to you without, you wouldn't really be able to see it too well because it's on a white background, but I did work on it. But I also got into writing this weekend. And it's funny because writing for me is a process of mood. It's very mood related. I have my son is sitting at the gate 12, which is on the throat center. So whether I'm going to speak or whether I'm going to write, it's all about mood because it joins up to the emotional center, the solar plexus. And if I'm in the mood, then all I want to do is write. And if I'm not in the mood, then no matter how much I try to push myself into writing, it just won't come out. So this weekend was, you may have noticed if you're on my newsletter list the last week or two, I didn't do a newsletter. This week I did. It's all a matter of whether I can make it happen or not. And I'm of the mind that if I am not feeling it, I probably shouldn't push it out there, right? Then I'm pushing the river, doing exactly what I tell all of you guys not to do. And it would be something that would probably blow up in my face or not come out sounding right. So this weekend, though, I felt like writing, and I could have kept writing, but then there are things like the Super Bowl that pulled my attention away from it. But I did get all that done just before the game started. And I have more coming up, Vicki. Thank you for asking. So who knows whether I am writing on my walls today or I am writing in my blog. We shall see. I think I might do both. We'll see. Depends on how I feel as I go through this day. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Londa. Snake is about eating up negativity. Ooh, I wonder if that's what I did. No, I would not have done that. Vanita, love red, green, very funny. Okay, so I don't get the red green. Maybe someone will tell me that. Suzanne, thank you so much for posting angel number 55. The double fives making a powerful number as the energies and attributes of 5 are doubled, amplified, and reinforced. 55 carries the vibrations of adventure, versatility, curiosity, facing challenges, learning life lessons through experience, auspicious opportunities, idealism and activity, making positive life choices and important changes. Wow. And there's a whole ton more. So if that is not showing up for you all, I will go in and make sure that as a guest post, it'll show up so you guys can read that. All right, guys, thank you very much. Have a great day. I will see you again tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe, dry, and warm. Bye.